Yeah, where's my game sound?
Your efforts against the recent
There we are.
ethereal incursions have paid off.
I was gonna wear a t-shirt, because I thought the chest hair is a bit much, but, I thought don't be a hypocrite. If, I'm embarrassed of my chest hair, then I should, join the hoi polloi and, wax or shave it off. I've never, in my 43 years, waxed or shaved, my chest. And gonna be hitting the beach or poolside for the first time this summer again. Kind of let myself go a little bit. Was getting in shape last summer, but then I let it go. Time walking. I'm queuing up as a healer, which was what I did with the shaman back when he was my main character during the pregnancy and all, waiting to be a father. But more importantly, no, the chest hair. Last time I was on a beach, I don't think it's an age thing anymore. I think everybody kind of does it. So I felt, and I feel like it's kind of a statement, you know, like tattoos once were, because now they're not. They're just, no one even notices tattoos. People notice when you don't have tattoos, and they definitely notice when you don't wax your body hair. So yeah, I think it's pretty rock and roll, actually. There we are. All right, and the dungeon leveling begins. Level 86 at the moment, so 4 more levels to go. And I've committed to doing this before cleaning my apartment. Why is my quest log always full? What are they? These all the entire quest log is full of quests from like 2022. It's one of those things I'm like, oh yeah, one day I'll do these. No. And it's like, oh, I've half completed that one. Come on. Nope, I'm not gonna do it. There's just one out of 2 echoes archived. Yeah, like I'm ever gonna go back to Tenaris to archive that last. Jeez, they've already run off. The dead mines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bosses. It's this week. It's classic dungeons on the Turbulent Timeways for anyone who does follow this game. Which means we are revisiting. Hello. Some of the original dungeons from the original World of Warcraft, the vanilla version. for any expansions or anything. The version that broke all the records, that defined the genre of MMORPGs. I need to book my barber appointment as well, so I'm looking pretty haggard. I know that. You'd think that I would put more effort into looking my best when I live stream. But it's almost like I was looking at my channel this morning. When I'm like freshly groomed, I'm never doing content. And I think there's a reason for that. Which might seem counterintuitive. I kind of let myself go a little bit when I'm not feeling too great. When I'm not feeling too great, one of those things that I kind of let go of is like grooming my face. And making content, streaming, whatever, gaming, it kind of, I don't know, cheers me up. Cathartic. It's definitely cathartic as well. And then I end up like, you know, getting my shit together a little bit more. And I'm letting this team down right now. Sorry, fellas, ladies and gentlemen. I let that guy die. Sorry, dude. Raja. Halfway through my first cup of coffee, 5 hours of sleep. And I haven't played this character in a while. But some of the... Oops. That's okay. Yeah, I was playing just my 3 undead characters, the same ones I had been playing since this era of these dungeons, the vanilla version. 2007-ish? No, 2005 to 2007, I think, was when the Burning Crusade came out. First expansion, somewhere around there. 2006, maybe. Come on, guy. And then fast forward to 2022, my then girlfriend is pregnant. Somewhat of a surprise, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, you know, you make certain decisions, and there's always that possibility, right? I was 40, she was 38. Don't die, dude. Shit. Don't die. Fuck. Yes. Tell your mama saved your life. Marvelous. This is not tanking. They've initiated a vote to kick the tank, with the reason being, this is not tanking. And they succeeded. Mavros. He might be Greek. Mavros. Yep, he is Greek. He's asking me how did I know he was Greek? Well, because his name Mavros means black in Greek. So he's like, how did you know I was Greek? I should have fucked with him a little bit. Been like, well, I am a shaman. We see things. He's like, oh yeah. I just realized I'm gonna start making characters because my priest is called Charlemagne, my undead priest, which is a reference to, you know, the warrior priest who kind of was the seed from which European monarchies were created. Don't die, Mavros! Come on, my dude. Ah, sorry, brother. What is wrong with these tanks? Probably not the best names for RP, like, but I was thinking to like do more historical references on characters. Like I should make a rogue and name him Kolokotronis or something. Famous warrior general, or well, he's more of a rogue. He's kind of crafty. Rebel, that's the word. Infamous rebel of the Greek Revolution. The fight for independence. That'd be pretty cool, actually, I think. It'd be fun. Or make him a demon hunter. Steady. Awkward camera angles in these dead mines.
I do not have a target.
Gotta love these old school vibes. He's asking me where I live. Otinane, yeah, exactly. How do I translate that one? Because I'm living in Latvia, so he's like, "Are you Greek?" I'm like, "Greek American." He's like, "Where do you live?" Latvia. And his response is Otinane. That's like, how do I translate that?
I need to target something first.
The literal translation is whatever, but it has a very different meaning in Greek. Totally. It's I'm really stuck on that. I'll have to ask ChatGPT or something. The literal translation is whatever, but it kind of means that's weird. Oh, nice.
No, you're making me angry.
Shaman. I always found it kind of, you know, because there's druids in World of Warcraft as well, and they're the true shapeshifters, but shaman have this ghost wolf form they can take. The main thing that characterizes the shaman in this game are the totems and the control of the elements. As a healer, mainly channels it's water that is the element that heals, sort of like how paladins and priests, they use holy magic, and druids use nature magic to heal. Monks use mists, which actually, I'm not sure, they call it mist, they're called mist weavers, healing monks. But I'm not sure if it's water like a shaman heals, or its own thing, like a monk's own kind of thing, like some kind of chi, you know, be like water. I don't know. I do know that I RP my Mistweaver monk, undead Mistweaver monk, in a very particular way. I'm gonna do definitely gonna do a Azaroth session with the monk at some point. What, that's it? We're done? Okay, yeah, let's roll. I love me to roll back to back. Dungeons. Like the true dungeon rat that I am. Am I rapping? Quitters. Kids these days, so soft. No, I don't mean that. I'm heeding the advice of Matthew McConaughey, who I met in a webinar once, the Tony Robbins event, actually. That's not when he gave this advice, though. Gave some other pretty good, very good advice, actually, come to think of it. He's a life coach himself, apparently. Something a lot of people don't know. I didn't know. He just was there, and I was like, what, huh? As a guest speaker. But it was on the Joe Rogan podcast that he said this. When you hit your 40s, and to not become cynical. Cynicism is kind of the sign of old age or aging, you know, the whole like anti-ageist, age is just a number, or rather it's a mindset. You could be 20 something years old and be older, like more of an old man than somebody in his 40s or 50s, you know. And I'm starting to believe that, actually. It's not a new thing. People have been saying it for a very long time, you know, like, oh, he's an old man in a young man's... He's like an old man. I had guys like that. I had friends like that in college. I had friends like that in high school. You know, they say youth is wasted on the young. I think there's probably some truth to that as well, because a lot of the people that had old man mindsets in the bodies and of young people, with all the opportunities afforded to young people in front of them, a lot of those people did quite well for themselves in life. Ding, 87, 3 more to go. So, you know, deductively reasoning through that, I guess that's the truth in it. That said, I'm not sure how happy they are. I know a lot of those people, a lot of those same people I'm talking about, who kind of have to work for their... Yeah, they have to kind of work for their contentness or their happiness. It's almost like they're having to learn it now at a later stage in life. So, you know, I don't think there's any one... there's definitely not one particular way to do life correctly. There's always going to be... There's never going to be a win-win situation. There's always going to be... You always have to give something up to gain something else. I remember back in the day, in the vanilla days, playing this dungeon and grinding it over and over again, because the tier 1 dungeon set, you know, the first dungeon, the first armor set, the shoulder pieces for my priest dropped in here. And I remember grinding to get them. They would just not drop. It was like the last piece I needed to complete the set. Because my logic was, I'm not going to join any raid teams, I'm not going to do anything, I'm going to do this correctly step by step, so I'm going to complete the dungeon set tier 1, and then I'm going to go on to try and get the second dungeon set, and then, you know, like, I wanted to collect all the dungeon sets before going into raid sets, before going into raids. I wanted to do things as it was intended, at least in my mind, by the developers, instead of trying to leapfrog levels of content and difficulty and stuff. And fast forward 20 years later, that is still the way I do things. I just had that, I just realized that I just gotten much better at it now. But with this character, this shaman, was the first time I really tried to do something new or tried to do something different with something that was old and familiar, which is this game. So it's like a class and a race that was totally not the vibe, the aesthetic, or the playstyle that I had grown accustomed to and that I was using for years. And that was because I was going through this life-changing, the biggest change any human being can go through, I think, in life, which is becoming a parent. That fundamentally, that changes your entire existence forever. That's it, like, you're a parent for the rest of your life. So I thought that, in hindsight, I think that's what kind of drew me into doing something like using a quite safe vehicle, safe and familiar vehicle, a game that I had played for 15-20 years. Oh, come on. 20 years later, I still get locked out of this thing. To safely explore new identities, I guess. New identities, new realities, ways of existing. It's like a little sandbox for what was going to come next. But although some things did change, it's funny because some of the ways in which I changed after my daughter was born were new and unique. But then again, there's also other things that were I had put aside or I had forgotten about, that bubbled back up again. So those were not entirely new. They were new to the context, new to the time in my life. Things like, like painting. My attitude towards a lot of things changed. But they were kind of like contextualized to life experiences I had had throughout my life. Without wanting to sound, maybe that is why it's a cliche. But yeah, I kind of put a lot of things in my life into focus and because they were out of focus, I kind of just fell by the side. Thoughts, feelings, attitudes, behaviors. And to be honest with you, she's now 3.5. So it's been 3.5 years of fatherhood, parenthood, and you know, they keep growing, they keep changing, and that process just keeps. Saved your life. Just keeps going on. Just keeps happening. It's iterative. Just different iterations. She grows and changes, and it forces me to grow and change as well. And the difference is me being 43 and her being 3 is that for her, there's not a lot of backstory or reference points or things to use for context. That's the wide-eyed wonder of childhood, I guess. And the challenge for parents, or all adults, perhaps. Back to what McConaughey was saying about not being cynical, fighting off the cynicism as you get older and older. Reflection using your past lives experience and things like that, that's healthy. But using your experiences as a way to become cynical, using your experiences from the past as a way of being cynical about the present or indeed the future, that's just being old. And doesn't make anyone happy, much less you. Unless you waited your whole life to become a bitchy old person. To have an excuse to complain about things, be miserable. Because that happens too, for sure. People use their kids, or becoming a parent as an excuse to, well, as a way to justify being I guess I don't want to be too judgmental, you know. Like, now I'm a dad, so I could be a prick, you know? But I don't think that's fair to the kid, because it's kind of scapegoating, right? And sooner or later, the kid's going to start seeing through all that. And what kids do is they internalize so much. That's the scariest part about parenting. For me, it's the scariest part. That every time that I'm with my daughter, I'm like, my biggest fear is that I'm going to say or do something she's going to take upon herself and internalize, you know. Maybe that has something to do with my own life experiences, my own baggage. Are we done here? Yes, we are. Alright, that's level 87. How long did that take? Half of level 87 took 11 minutes through the turbulent turbulent timeways. Turbulent timeways. So should hit level 90. They should take come on, brain. 20 minutes a level. Should take an hour to hit level 90, which is way faster than I thought it would be. But I have 20% experience boost from Warband mentored leveling. That means I already have 3 level 90 characters. So anybody below level 90 on my roster gets a 20% boost, and I should have, where is it? Here. Mastery of the Timeways. Experience gained. So I get a 30% boost stacked on top of that 20 because I've done 4 Timeways, 4 time walking dungeons already. So I did 2 during this live stream, but I already had the buff because the buff it persists between sessions. So it says 3 hours remaining. I don't know if you can see it there, but if I log out now, it pauses the timer on that. So yeah, guilting. I don't think any parent ever intends to make their kids feel guilty. Maybe some do, I don't know. That's something I'm still working on, you know. I'm definitely way better at it. Questioning people's intentions. I don't think that's the same as being cynical. I was saying about not being cynic. Don't be naive either. But don't be cynical. It's that balance. That fine line to walk, which I think if you reach a certain point in life, you should be able to do that. Like, you know, if you're like a kid and you make decisions naively, you can kind of excuse it. If you've really been through a lot of things, and never had a chance to, you know, you're retired or, you know, in your second half of life anyway, and you start to become cynical about things, that can kind of be justified as well, but I find it harder if you're leaning on that side of the spectrum, way into that side of the spectrum later in life. I don't know. Definitely if you're like in your 50s and you still are naive about things, that's definitely, should definitely check that out, work on that a little bit. I knew that was gonna happen. I fucking knew it. Why did I follow them? Hey Panda, little wind-walking monk. I like the female Pandarans, they're cute. Yeah, let's do it, Panda, let's kill it. Chain lightning on a single target? Oh my god. Thunder! Maybe I should have called this shaman Zeus, you know, he fires lightning bolts. That'd be a historical reference, even though Zeus is a mythical character, not a historical one. Would have been a good one. Bit on the nose, though. Amasongaa is my shaman's name, and I think when I made it, it's a composite word, so there's Ama, it's from Elvish. Whoop. I think Ama means let's kill a panda. Rain, and Songa means caller, I think, so it's Amasongaa means rain caller in Elvish, I think it's Elvish. The panda's name is Chow Mein. Talk about on the nose. I really need to get my my beard trimmed. My mustache at this point is getting in the way of. Oh man, sorry, chow mein. Yeah, naive kids and cynical old men. I think if you're in your 40s, you have this golden opportunity. You're in this perfect stage of life, mentally, physically, and spiritually. I think people just waste that. You can use that time to find like an optimal balance to everything, mind, body, and spirit. Keep yourself locked into that. Habits, mindset. Behaviors. Chow mein. I want to add chow mein to my friends list just because she's a Pandaren monk called Chow mein. Somewhere I have a totem that makes us run faster. I don't remember where it is. Come on, chow mein. These guys are just trucking ahead. I've done very little healing. Na 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 bum bum. Go away. I think the shaman is... Well, I don't know. I mean, what am I doing here? Walking into a death trap, apparently. Okay. Oh, shit's sake. Yeah, I went the wrong way. Nice one. Just pull the whole pack, yeah. I'll pull them all the way up to the group. Why not? Pull the whole dungeon, yeah. I don't even know where I'm going. What am I doing? It seems memory does not serve me well, Dire Maul. And yeah, I did not run this dungeon too much back in the day. Truth be told, I think it's an Alliance dungeon. There were Alliance and Horde dungeons. Should know better. No, this is most certainly not the way. I'm pretty sure this is not the way. Gulp. Well, they should be fine. I'm sure they'll be fine. I am missing out on all the tasty XP. Uh oh. They got me. And I can't release because I'm in combat. Or they're in combat. Bum bum. Great. And I got booted from the group, so that's okay. Guess I deserved it. I wasn't really doing much. And this is where it becomes a grind. How many have I done? 3 dungeons and got 2 levels. Gotta keep trucking on. Oh no, I got a 30-minute penalty. For being kicked. That's that hurts my feelings. This never happens to me. There it is. Dungeon deserter. I didn't desert anything. I was booted. That's not fair. You abandoned your group and must wait before using Dungeon Finder or Raid Finder again. Well... I'm gonna stay positive and take that as a blessing in disguise, because I was getting a little bit... I was just complaining about it becoming a grind. So... 30-minute reset. Clear my bags maybe, get another cup of coffee. Talk to... absolutely no one at this moment. That's fine. Da-da-da. Well, the Spangenhelm of the Cinderwolf. I'm finally saying goodbye to this. This was the, I think it was the Dragonflight raid tier set or something. From when I was raiding. Because I did join a raid team with this character at some point. I think it was like when I came back after the... My daughter was 2, I think. And I rejoined World of Warcraft for a season. And I said, right, I'm going to take Amasongaa. And I'm going to commit him to full-time raiding. I'm going to go, really going to do this raid thing. And I did. It was good. I think we were doing heroic... Forgot what they were called. But the end raids for Dragonflight, yeah, that expansion. Which was 2 expansions before this one. Something, so it was Midnight, War Within, and the one before that, Dragonflight. And those are the shoulders. Selling those. Might seem weird to some people, but this is actually kind of hard for me. Because on the one hand, yeah, I mean, I've been a dad for 3.5 years now, which is 3 out of the 43 years of my life. And I on and off, I've been playing this game for 20 years, right? 2007 to 2015. Then I took a break until the pregnancy. So in total, that's Come on, quick maths. 2007, no, 2005 I started playing this. So that's 10 years plus so 13 years actually playing, not counting the gap in between. But even, you know, when there's a gap between something, it still makes it relevant, right? So, well, to me anyway. Just trying to find the words. It's like, it's a virtual world, virtual fantasy world, right? So although people do come to play games like this, including me, to escape, it's like escape. It is kind of like escapism, but also you can't. It's still you playing the game. You know, I guess it's the same if you're playing a sport, right? You can't. You can escape your life, but it's still, in certain ways, but it's still you in whatever the escape may be. If that makes sense. So to that effect, I think that there are forms of escapism that are healthy. And a friend of mine who's a very accomplished life coach, actually, Daniel Klubke, check him out if you want. Once taught me about identities, and he's an NLP coach, neurolinguistic programming, also a Wim Hof instructor. He's a coach, trainer, so he trains the instructors. Yeah, I can't remember. Yeah, I think it was with Daniel. Don't remember how it came around, though. It wasn't like during a coaching session. I think it was just a conversation we had about identities. No, yeah, it was him. Yeah, he talked about it on his podcast too, on Spotify. Check that out if you want. How he's talking about being like a chameleon, that basically trying on different identities. I think this is research backed as well. That when you try out different identities, it's actually healthy to strengthen your personal sense of self. Like by going out and trying out a different identity. Teenagers, this is what characterizes childhood, and especially teens. You know, you're so fluid with your identity at that stage in life, and then people harden and resist and be like, oh no, this is the way I am, that's the way I am, all day, every day, all the time, which can kind of stunt your growth. Whereas if you stay adaptable and fluid and you can try out different things, you know, go try a new hobby, go to an environment maybe you've never raised a fist in anger in your life. Go to an MMA gym, you know, just for a day, and when you come back, you might not ever go do it again. You might decide it's not your thing, but at least you'll know it's not your thing. You go home and you have a stronger sense of your own self because you tried, you know, a different color, like a chameleon. And he was talking about how that's actually very healthy, and it's even more healthy when you do it consciously. And I think forms of escapism, you know, like here I am role-playing a shaman in a fantasy world. I think that it's not exactly the same, obviously, because it's not the real world. It's escaping, and maybe it's better, who knows? It's definitely different. At 8:30 in the morning, though, this is not particularly social. Usually it's more active. Also, this character is not in a guild at the moment. He's kind of my solo. My solo, quiet, reflective. Actually, it's kind of inactive, and there's a reason for that as well. I associated very, very much this character, the shaman, with that particular moment in time, the pregnancy, those 9 months, the first year after. And I was kind of like afraid almost to, like, I parked this character after that and didn't play it at all, and was almost kind of like afraid to go there again to see. And it was a little bit of that fear that prompted me to come back and do it and do this, at least leveling it up to 90. I don't know, that's how I said it, I'm leveling up to 90, and I don't know if I'm gonna stay here, but I wanted to revisit this place at this moment in time, you know, where things are changing, things are in transition. My daughter's gonna be starting school this coming year. Things have changed between her mother and I as well, so it's very, very different to what it was like during the pregnancy and the start of it all. And I thought that it might be nice to revisit. I didn't think it would be nice. I thought it would be a little difficult, and it is a little difficult actually, if I'm being honest. I played a little bit. I got him up to level whatever it was at the start of the stream, 85. And I thought, hey, why not? Why don't I live stream this? That'll make things easier. No, actually, I knew it would make things more difficult, because now I'm putting this on YouTube. But my YouTube channel is, I've reactivated all my social stuff also around the same time when my daughter was born. They say the internet never forgets, and they say that as a threat, but I, try not to be cynical. Thought that one also means one day, it immortalizes things. So I'm 100% conscious of the fact that this stuff, obviously, unless it gets taken down for whatever reason, the stuff we put on the internet, our kids one day will visit and be like, oh, that's my mom, that's my dad doing stuff that at the time I had no idea they were doing. So how much longer on this? I got 16 more minutes of my punishment for getting lost in the dungeon. They should get punished. They should get a penalty for abandoning me. Yes, with a somewhat heavy heart. I don't think I'll be able to play this character much. It's almost like it's reminding me, even the muscle memory of the spells, which is definitely still there. Did a lot of raiding, intense healing with this back in those days. It's triggering emotions, feelings that I had during that time, and there's something about that makes me feel uneasy now, because like sitting here playing the shaman, and I don't have my little baby monitor. And my baby's not a baby anymore. She's a toddler, 3.5 years old. Soon she'll be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's like that time is gone. It's like can't go back there again. to that moment. So it's like nostalgic, but I don't know, there's something... I guess it's kind of the same kind of feeling that... Yeah, it is actually. It's exactly like when I look at pictures of her when she was younger. I'm like, and I remember like, oh, like I'll see something riding, having her in their little bicycle seat, riding my bike, when she was 1 or 2, you know? And it's just like, oh yeah, it's nice. But then the longer you linger on it, the more it starts to feel like, you get kind of sad. You see like old people cry when they look at photos of, you know, a happy time in the past. Why do we do that? Why does that happen? Why do we do it, number one? Because it's almost kind of masochistic in a way. And why does it happen? Even if I have another kid, which I would like to, and do the same thing, and, you know, have my little baby monitor, hearing the little cries, getting up and going, putting her to sleep or him to sleep, and everything's okay, but I can't sleep. And having my little my online friends, my alter egos, which it's an alter ego, so again it's rooted somehow in a center. If you want to be Freudian about it, what is it? Ego, super ego, and id, right? The id is in the back, super ego's in the front, yeah, and your ego's right in the middle. It's the connective tissue, the glue in between your center. From the Greek word ego, which is the word in modern Greek they use for I, or I think it's doego, which is the self, and if you just say ego, it means I. I'm not sure though. "12 more minutes. It's 8:45 here in glamorous Lavia. I should probably, once I can get back in the dungeon queue, I should be able to hit level 90. It's taking 20 to 30 minutes of direct dungeon gameplay per level, roughly, with the boosts I have. Yeah, should be done by around 11. Which leaves the rest of the afternoon to clean up this apartment, which is in desperate need of cleaning, tidying up. I haven't lived alone in 7 years, so that's something that but to be fair, no one ever really cleaned up. No one's really cleaned up after me in over a decade, so it's just the marking season with me being an examiner and a tutor. So it was just back to back, the heavy tutoring season during the exam season, and then straight out of that, straight into the marking season. And tutoring and marking are the more, you know, the more you ask, the more you get, the more you do, the more you get paid. So it's a different kind of grind, like more entrepreneurial, yes, and I guess people who own their own business, they know this well, probably. It becomes like that's one of the downsides. Like, one of the upsides is, yes, you can throw all your income. One of the downsides, especially in this economy, is you almost feel like you can't afford to take your foot off the gas, even to clean the apartment. It's like, oh yeah, no, those dishes, that they can wait, and because I need to do this, I gotta mark 20 more papers or whatever. That can wait, this laundry can wait, that can wait, and then it just starts to pile up. Whereas you got a salary, it's, you leave work at the office, so to speak, right? Or the school in my case, when I was teaching in classrooms. And sometimes I do miss that. It's moments like these where I'm like, you know. But if you're gonna make a decision, a life decision, to do something, I don't know, is it wise to make a decision to do something because of what it can afford you to do when you're not doing it? Surely it's got to be a wise decision to do something for the benefits of, because you enjoy doing that thing, not, right? I don't know. I guess there's two ways to look at it. Though I do enjoy teaching in classrooms as well, but if I'm totally honest, I enjoy working one-on-one more. So, teaching business and economics to cohorts, large cohorts as well. I'm really glad that I did it, and I really enjoyed doing it at the time. It was a really satisfying challenge. I don't think that, and now I kind of see, now that I am the experienced teacher, why the more experienced teachers, most experienced teachers don't do that, and they look for smaller cohorts. They're more selective. I would just say yes to any school at some point in my career, and really relished those challenges. I think that's probably what made me valuable to a lot of places that I worked as well. They're like, I was like, yeah, give me more, bring it on, bring it on, bring it on. Something about wanting to prove yourself as well. But I like the rush as well. I like the adrenaline that came with it. But I always wondered at the time, like, yeah, why? That guy's so experienced. He could probably have my timetable and do a better job with it than me. In theory, but in practice, actually, I think those really challenging timetables are a proving ground. I don't like to draw a parallel. The best parallel I can think of drawing is like military, where you don't put your most experienced, the people that are most experienced with war, you don't put them on the front line, right? The most valuable ones that you have, you'll put, their lieutenants and their generals and their sergeants, and they're leading kind of, if not by example, they are leading directly from the back lines. I think that's a good parallel with teaching. Value over volume. But it still feels like it shouldn't be like that, right? Because there's no risk of death in teaching. Which is definitely one reason why they don't put their most experienced people. Also age, right? In the military, there's the physical challenges of it. But teaching, on the other hand, is actually quite physical as well. That is a big factor. I had a timetable once where I was like on my feet from 9 in the morning till 4 in the afternoon. pretty much. Which was very challenging, and I had people telling me, well, like, just, you don't have to be standing the whole time, there's a desk, take a seat and stuff. But then in another conversation they say to you, teaching from behind the desk is very, it's poor practice. So you're trying to prove yourself, you're trying to work your way up, and you get these timetables when you're teaching, but then to execute those successfully and to execute those well in order to progress, you can't do all of the things that are the you can't do the things that are there to prevent you from burning out. That's it. That's the bottom line. Like, teacher burnout is very, very real, and the reason why it happens is because to progress in that profession, you need to burn the candle at both ends, period. It just doesn't, it's just the system at the moment is not designed for what's in the best interest of the people who are delivering the service. And the service that is being delivered is also not optimal for the people that are receiving the service of learning. Like, human beings are not wired to learn things optimally by being in large group of their peers, confined to a small space, a classroom, and having things, delivered to them in an impersonal way. And then they'll tell the teacher, oh yeah, you should differentiate and treat every student as an individual. And, don't teach from behind the desk, make it experiential, ensure that everybody's reflecting on their experiences. And by the way, fit all that into 45 minutes. And when you're done with these 20 people, another 20 people are going to come in so you can do the whole thing all over again. Except guess what? It's not going to be exactly the same thing because, of course, we don't want to burn you out by having too much repetition. So make sure that you have 4 to 5 different lesson plans for the 4 to 5 different groups of 20. But, like, come on. And you'll do all that, like I did, and then you'll go into another job, another position, and they'll look at your CV, they'll sit you in an interview room. If you're lucky, you'll get an interview lesson, and all that can be taken away from you because of a disgruntled former, employer who gives a less than stellar, less than perfect reference for you, and that becomes worse and worse the more experienced you are as a teacher, because there's teacher pay scales, so the more experienced you are, the more expensive you are. So, and the more experienced you are, the more likely, the more detailed your references may have, the more ups and downs your references may have. If you're a newbie, you haven't had any experience with teacher burnout because you're still fresh, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, wanting to prove yourself, there's not too much on your record because there's not much of a record there. And you're cheap. You're cheap labor. So, yeah. I'm finding being an examiner and putting all of my resources into one student at a time and tutoring, I'm enjoying it. I think it's nice. I really do wish it was different. Oh, time to queue up. I really do wish it was different. Classroom teaching is different. And I have at the moment I'm really looking at. I'm interested in special learning, because that's working one-on-one or with small groups of people inside of a school environment, which is, I think, like a nice halfway between my experience, my 2 years of experience now, working exclusively, teaching one-on-one and small groups, and the large military academy stuff that I've done in the past. I think it blends the two nicely, perfectly actually. So, something I'm interested in Even if the pay is, it'll be a bit of a pay cut. It'll be a bit of a pay cut from the full blown teacher salary to be learning support instead of the teacher role, but pros and cons. Plus, if you're working in a school in a supporting role, those lead roles are always there. And if they're not, they do appear. They do come up. If you got the chops, credentials. So I'm quite optimistic about that. I don't think the educational system from the inside, because now I'm on the outside with the tutoring, but the educational system from the inside has most definitely probably not seen the last of me. I'll be back. Oh, that was a boss. I didn't even realize. I'm starting to wonder. I was like, why is it taking so long? Schematic. Oh, cool. I could send that to Charlemagne the Priest, who's also an engineer. Although he doesn't need a parachute because he's got levitate. But I hope I can make them and sell them. That'd be great. Binds when equipped. Yeah, you can sell them. Sweet. What does that mean? That means the schematic, not the actual item that you make with it. Boom.
I am out of range.
Are you? A nice open space. I like those mines before. Claustrophobic.
don't have a target.
Hey, why is his ghost wolf so ghosty? Why is it just basic? I want a fancy one too. Fancy ghost wolf. Can I have a green one? I want a green one. I don't think this coffee's working. Is that it? We done? Okay. Just shy of level 88. I was planning on live streaming the whole journey to level 90. It's starting to get actually kind of hard. Definitely gonna need another cup of coffee. When I say I'm gonna do something, I like to do it. I think the wise thing to do now is to get up, grab that cup of coffee, and continue. I don't know if it counts as a marathon. I think it is. How long has it been already? Hour and a half. Phew. Feels like more. Back in the day, back when I was a youngin', 4-hour sessions were just like, it's just normal. Just a normal sesh. Alright, I will be right back with that fresh cup of coffee. Alright, let's do this thing. Let's finish this thing. Oh, goodness. Whee! $88, 2 more to go.
I need to target something first.
This guy has an orange wolf. I want a green wolf. Can I be a green wolf? Oh, he's a druid. Okay. Whoops. 8 minutes, okay. So apparently there's no green or purple ghost wolves.
For your heads.
target something first. require a target. I require a target.
Haven't said anything in 15 minutes, I apologize. It's 4 dungeons in a row now. And I only slept 5 hours. I think that's also a big factor. These old school, these classic dungeons, these old school dungeons, they're different, man. This coffee is not working. So, nearly finished level 88, and it took 28 minutes, so probably another 40 minutes to hit 90, and that'll be that. It's getting tough now. I said I'm gonna do it, so I gotta do it. Yes, let's go. It'll probably take 2 more dungeons, though. Probably wouldn't be so difficult if I had slept better and if I didn't have... if I hadn't done those 2 or 3 hours of healing my guildmates with my priest, of course, through mythic dungeons. Basically carrying them through dungeons that they were definitely undergeared for and had no experience with whatsoever. That was very hard work. This is easy, comparatively speaking, to heal. But maybe that's also because it's easy, is less adrenaline going, it's more a grind. Sleep factor. I might take a nap after this, actually, and then clean the apartment. On the one break I have taken, I called, talked to my daughter, which is also taking a little bit of the wind out of my sails because she seemed a little bit. Didn't say much, just kind of not her usual self. And that bugs me. Not knowing what happened before the call, what's happening after the call. Just not knowing what's going on. And my mom doesn't tell me much. Thinks I I worry too much, or like read into things too much or whatever, but she's not being herself, so something is obviously going on. I don't have to know, but she's a toddler. It might be, you know, it's not like she's 16, 17, 18 years old. I don't want to invade her privacy, or you know, I don't feel entitled to her private life. She's my daughter. She's a toddler. She doesn't have a private life with regards to me, okay? And I don't think that there's anything wrong with that. Do you? I feel like it's maybe it's my teacher attitude as well, like safeguarding. You know, they teach us what safeguarding actually means. If you can't safeguard your own children, then what are you even talking about? Safeguarding is not about doing something after the fact. It's part of it, but ideally, when you're good at safeguarding, successful safeguarding means nothing bad ever happens because you have guarded them safely from bad things happening. And what you definitely don't do is, if something has happened, pretend that it hasn't. As kind of like the cardinal rule not to break if you want to be safeguarding a child. I wonder what other teachers think. I've attended plenty of safeguarding trainings. In fact, when you're a UK qualified teacher with qualified teacher status, you need to be, it's compulsory to have that training regularly, not just one-off and, oh yeah, like a first aid certificate. You need to stay fresh with it, and things change. The things kids need to be safeguarded from is constantly changing. Ding, level 89. Let's go, one more to go. Come on. I think today I'll have donuts. I'm gonna treat myself to some donuts. As many as I can eat. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Just binge donuts. Sorry, team, I let you down there. Fuck. Oh, fuck's sake. That's on me again. Oh, this place, I forgot. I mean, you gotta tiptoe your way through it, or it's just these vanilla dungeons. They are special, they are different. metas. Just thinking, once this shaman reaches level 90, then I'll have a level 90 priest, druid, shaman, paladin, and death knight. So that's cloth, 2 plate armor, wearing 1 mail and wearing chainmail, and 1 leather. That's a coincidence. I didn't plan that out to be that way, but I was thinking about how these, oh dear. XP boosts are working, right? If you grind 4 Timeway dungeons in a row, you get a 30% boost. For every end game character that you have, you get a little 5% extra boost to leveling. Don't die. So it's like Blizzard are rewarding accounts that are older, or that have the more characters you have, the easier it is to acquire more in-game characters, right? And with the meta compositions, I'm just curious if they change. If how regularly or how frequently the meta compositions change is increasing over time as it becomes easier to level up characters, which is generally is becoming easier to level up characters. And it's even easier if you have more characters already. So this increasing returns to scale. And companies like Blizzard don't do anything by chance, especially Blizzard. They take their time and they strategize and they play the long game, so just wondering, what are they getting at? What's the I mean, obviously the bottom line is high priority, return on investment, profit. So like in iGaming and generally in online services, we talk about lifetime value of the players, and HVPs, high value players. When you're gambling, that's players that high rollers is one variable, and how much you gamble and how frequently you gamble and for how long you gamble. So in gaming, that would translate to how long you've been a subscriber. Microtransactions maybe could be the equivalent of how much you bet. Am I in the wrong place? Where are they? Yeah, I've been locked out. just remember this boss now. He's a fun boss. You can do it. There we are. Good job, guys. Good job. One more ought to do it. So I guess if you have like hypothetically, if you have a full roster of level 90 characters, then you're always ready for whatever switch ups they might make to the meta. If you want to play to the meta, that is, you'll always have in-game alt set to ready to play anything off meta, if that's your jam. Which, I guess it improves the retention rate of subscribers, because if all you have is your one level 90 character, and then suddenly that character, because of a meta change, is no longer effective in the content that you enjoy most, then you end your subscription, you go to play something else. You're like, oh yeah, maybe I'll go back. That's not maximizing the lifetime value of the player. Or the user. So that's probably high on their on the executive agenda. It's probably got nothing to do with rewarding OGs. Which is kind of sad, really, because it's the short-termism of profit. The value of 10 new players is to a company is way higher than the value of one very old account, one very old player. And that's because future profits are more valuable than... Uh-oh, I've pulled. It doesn't matter how much money they may have made off of players like me who have been playing for 20 years. That's to the bottom line anyway. Strictly business, strictly financially speaking, it's almost irrelevant compared to what they could be making if they hold on to 5 players who just thought they'd try the free trial and decided to subscribe. Or a 1-year-old account that decides to buy that mount that took an account like mine 10 raid runs to get. They will. That's the people who will pay for microtransactions, not people like me. As for taking in the feedback or the resentment that might brew in a player who got some kind of unique mount for pre-ordering the Wrath of the Lich King, which was an expansion pack from 15 years ago. And now we bought for £20 or €20 or €5 or whatever. Who cares? At the boardroom level. You see, because the value, they are making money off of the value that players who grinded for those for those cosmetic items. That's what gives those items the experiential value that justifies the monetary value that they ask for. In other words, in layman's terms, players will pay real money for cosmetic things that used to take hours and hours of gameplay. Or indeed still do. They've just taken that model. They've just implemented that model because it's been very successful. It's been hugely successful. It has killed the soul, they say, of gaming, but it has kept the companies financially alive. It's a weird one, isn't it? It makes you wonder. If gaming had not gone down that road, would it depend so much on microtransactions if they just went with a different approach? Guess we'll never know. What's coming next is the death of microtransactions and the rise of subscription-based models like Steam. So you no longer need to pay for microtransactions, you just pay a large, probably similar prices to, not like the subscriptions we know now, 30, 25, 15, things like Xbox Live. Probably more like 60, 70, triple digits even, euros, pounds. The kinds of prices people used to pay for AAA games, hard copies of AAA games, collectible box sets, etc. Because the companies have never stopped looking at those numbers. They've been trying, they realize that microtransactions are not going to bring their companies back to the shareholder value it used to be. So if they could just bundle the microtransactions and the games, all subscription, obviously, seasonal, you don't own anything, in such a way that translates to monthly revenue, monthly inflows that are the equivalent to what, you know, game sales in circa 2015 were. Then we're back on track, boys. Meanwhile, gamers, you know, all over the world are going, wow, things have really changed. No, they haven't, and they won't, not at least on the executive level. I'm not trying to sound cynical, I'm just not being naive.
Sands consume you.
Business is business. Revenue will always be revenue. Variable costs will always be variable costs. Fixed costs will always be fixed costs. And profit will always be profit. Profit maximization, sales maximization, revenue maximization, breaking even, survival, skimming pricing strategies, penetration pricing, cannibalization and the likes. These things will never change. They are what they are. It's called capitalism. In our fuzzy little corner of the economy known as gaming is no different from pharmaceuticals, iGaming, sportswear. It's just when people are emotionally invested in their little corner of the economy, it's hard to separate. Fuck off. The story we tell ourselves when we think we're the main character in a movie about our lives and reality. And the belief that somehow, some way, there'll be people on a boardroom that see things differently. There is no other way to see things in the monetary system.
The sanctuary reigns supreme.
Period. Nobody in charge of anything can put a roof over their heads and food in their mouths if they do anything any differently. That's the way the system is. That's reality. That's the reality of things. Oh, just a little slither left for level 90. Will this mob do it? Will it do it?
I cannot attack.
Oh, so close. I don't think I need a full run. Thank you. Runs. Good luck. Have fun.
May the mountain grant you shade and comfort.
I have the Turbulent Timeways quest to hand in now, and I think that should ding the 90, level 90. Let's see. Time to strike. $38,000 XP, and I need... yeah, that'll do it. That's a perfect way to cap the levels for this session, and indeed on this character. Beep, 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 beep. Beep, 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 beep. Oh, do I have to go to Ogremore? Where do I have to go? Yeah. Only took 2 hours and 53 minutes from 85 to 90 with the 30-minute penalty I got for that deserter. So that would make 2 hours 20 minutes for level 85 to 90 with a 50% XP bonus made up of my Warband mentoring leveling 20% and mastery of the Timeways, another 30%. Witch stack, thank you very much. Whee! Where are my mounts? Da-da-da-da-da. There's my mount. Yes. Elementalesque. Is Fel an element? Probably of the Outlands, wouldn't you say? Where's that Ogremore portal? Daddy needs some sleep. Oh my god, he doesn't even know where the portal is. In Silvermoon. Kind of funny, no? if I had just joined the game, there'd be more capacity. I'd only have to know. I'd only have to know this expansion. But then, like, the more you play a game, the more your mind gets filled up with things from previous content. It leaves less room for new stuff. One day, kids. One day you'll know what I mean. Gee, thanks. I can be your hero, baby. Dun 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 dun. People pay money for this mount. Ugly ass mount. Here we go. The ancient scroll. Nah, I want to ding with this one. Or maybe I'll ding with this one so that the rewards that come out of that are love for level 90. Bam! 5 warband mentors. And that's the warband mentor XP bonus capped. It caps at 5 level 90 characters. And a level 90 goodie bag, please. Or as they say here in Latvia, Lūdzu. Can't I? Why not? Oh, it's got a ride along. That's cool. Flourishing Whims Drake. Is it a whimsical Drake? Oh. So it's got a ride along, but do you really want to ride along? It's kind of pretty, actually. It's kind of cute, but well, it is what it is. I wish my meat wagon was ride along. I could say to people, hey, hop on my meat wagon. Hop on my flourishing Whimsy Drake. It's whimsical. I'll take you for a ride on my Whimsy Drake. Just for funsies. Where's my timely goodie bag? Here it is. Yay. First adventurer grade. We are now on the adventurer tract with Amasongaa. Where'd it go? Timely tourist's torch. You score 156 at level 90. It's not much. Actually, it's pretty poor. $212. Okay. Not too bad. I can queue heroics, I think, at least. Yes. No, it's not bad at all. For freshly leveled 90, and that concludes this session and this live stream. 3 hours, 2.5 if you take off the break. Not bad. Ciao.